Oh boy. There we go. Live chat is back. Kendra was right. Here we go. I got to just share this. Increasingly, I just look like a goof in each of these stupid screenshots. There we go. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being so loyal. I'm sure we've lost people who are like, give me a break. I can find something way better to do on Netflix than this. But yeah, it's a good point about the Ethernet. I have a MacBook Lite or whatever it's called, an Air. But maybe I need to use my HP one thing. Okay. I love the paying of respects, but I don't know if using the same word or the same letter to pay respects as we're also using to indicate that things are frozen is very confusing for me when I look up and see the F, because now I'm just going to assume that that means frozen. So maybe there's like a single tier or something we can do to indicate our respects, and then frozen can be F. I'll let you guys work that out. That's really your domain, not mine. Okay. Hopefully everyone's back. Please text if you have somebody on your team who's not as technologically savvy or who doesn't have Facebook. Please text them this link. Oh, good. Jeff's got that. Yeah, that's a frightening symbol, Jeff. All right, here we go. I will continue, or I'll begin to read all the teams who are playing tonight. Please welcome, for the third time, everybody to the room. The teams competing tonight are Quizzy McGuire, Positive Pete's, Frickin' French Fry Fricassade, hashtag On the Gin Train. This next name is so vile and offensive that I don't even know that I should read it aloud, but here goes. Hello from the quarantine. Lysolve it. Chelsea, we miss you. The bunch of yahoos outside Queen's Park. That's not bad. We came here to drink bleach and win trivia, and I'm all out of bleach. Oh, trivia mun. Come to my window unless you're in Ottawa. Quarren Quizzle. Vodka quarantini, shaken, not stirred. Tit soup for the quarantine soul. We don't know Jack. The Taming of the Flu. That's pretty good. The Blazinga Boys. Case of the Mondays. Better Without Olivia. The Stable Geniuses. Special K and Membums. Bunch of Yahoos. Second last. Corona with Line. Bunch of Yahoos. Seeing a trend here. Hall of Fat Girls and Sam. You're a quizzard, Harry. Penny and the Jets. Call the police. I'm being held in this basement against my will. 13th is better than 14th. Team Discovery Channel. Threat Level Midnight. Area Man. Here for Zaire. YTV's Weird on Wheels. My shoes weigh at least 10 pounds. Kurlesa's Crew. Dairy Squad. Overnight Oats. I cheated last week and still lost. COVID Sharks. COVID Ops. Cabin Fever Fight Club. We also have playing tonight The Great Indoors. Plus Aaron and David are traitors. 13th is better than 14th. Kevin. Playing Pantless. Did Mackay give me COVID? The answer is probably yes. Secret Team. The Three Must Get Beers. Ned, Chet, and P-Man. An Angry Newfoundlander and a Bay. Joe Theismann's broken leg. You can't tell I'm not wearing smarty pants. Show's Company. Big Duck Nerds. Family Bubble of Yahoos. Judy and Co. Trivia Lassies. The Dog. The Qualifies. And the Not Drinking Alone. The Just GNL. Again, 13th is better than 14th. You've got to get better at this. Last place, Suck a Caribou's Dick, Big Brian Academy, Tale of Two Brians, Covideo Star, Wells. Okay. All right. Shit. Sorry. Okay. YouTube hates me. Yeah, YouTube. Not our friend tonight. Back? It's good now. It's back. It's back. Hey, Drew. Give me a break. All right. Thank you. Good. All right. Here we go. We'll keep going. Those were the first two rounds. Congratulations to everybody who is doing better than average. What does average look like? I'll tell you. The average score in round number one was, hold on. Average score in round number one was 9. No, sorry, no, that's not true. 6. That makes a lot more sense. Average score was 6 for round number one. Average score for above average. So congratulations to you. Well done. Oh my God, this thing is going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. Oh fuck, frozen. Jesus. Okay. I'm going to have to invest in Twitch. We might, well, yeah, Zoom might be a thing, though I gave out my Zoom account for another. I'm really close to my router right now. My router's like 50 feet away. It is probably my internet connection. Typing the questions is a bit onerous. Okay, I'm just gonna get to the questions. Here we go. Unfortunately my computer doesn't have an Ethernet connection. Anyway, here we go. We're gonna try this and just see. We did really well last week with YouTube, and I had high hopes, but let's see. Okay, here we go. Round number 2. We will make it work, Stephen. I like your attitude. Here we go. Question number 1. There's a bonus point opportunity here. Question number 1. On TV's Seinfeld, what was one of the names of George's parents? If you get both, if you know both of the names of George's parents, you'll get a bonus point. On TV's Seinfeld, what was the name of one of George's parents? The averages, Doc, if you're wondering, was 6 in the first round, 8 in the second round. So if you have a score higher than 14, you're above average. Again, question number 1 for round number 3. On TV's Seinfeld, what was one of the names of George's parents? If you know both, you'll get a bonus point. Question number 2 in round number 3. What do the letters in the word scuba stand for? What do the letters in the word scuba stand for? Question number 3 from the world of sports. What Canadian figure skater was first in the world to land a quadruple jump in a world competition? What Canadian figure skater was first in the world to land a quadruple jump in a world competition? Question number 4, sticking with the CanCon content, redundant. What is the largest lake entirely in Canada? What is the largest lake entirely in Canada? Question number 5. Of the planets in the solar system, which is closest in size to Earth? Of the planets in the solar system, which is closest in size to Earth? Question number 6. Name the movie released in the year 1998 by volume, Tom. Good question. I'm going to say yes until I prove myself otherwise, but I believe yes by volume, the largest lake entirely within Canada. Number 5, of the planets in the solar system, which is closest in size to Earth? And size being diameter. Of the planets in the solar system, which is closest in size to Earth? Yeah, other than Earth. What planet is most close in diameter to Earth? Question number 6. What movie released in the year 1998 used the tagline, quote, "Earth, it was fun while it lasted"? Question number 6. Name the movie released in the year 1998 that used the tagline, "Earth, it was fun while it lasted" in its promotional material. Question number 7. In what U.S. state would you find Area 51? In what U.S. state would you find Area 51? Question number 8. If you know Drinking and Thinking at Clinton's is often a Know Your News question, bringing that back tonight. It's a question from the news cycle from the last 7 days. Here is question number 8. Montreal-born Tiff Macklin got a new job this week. What is it? Question number 8. Montreal-born Tiff Macklin got a new job this week. What is it? Question number 9. What world event inspired Herbert Morrison's famous quote, "Oh, the humanity"? What world event inspired Hubert Morrison's famous quote, "Oh, the humanity"? And finally, question number 10, the last question in the round. What was the name of the pet dog on TV's The Jetsons? What was the name of the pet dog on TV's The Jetsons? All right, moving on. Before we get to round number 4, I have the scavenger hunt clue tonight. And I get, as I explained, I'm going to you might have to do this in a mirror in order to enter. And there will not be a time limit. You have until the end of the night to send it in, so don't rush right now. But in the spirit of what we're all going through, and kindness being an important aspect, and also recognizing those frontline workers, not just those in hospitals and in long-term care homes and whatnot, but also those just out serving the public who need to be out. This question is in that spirit. So I want to know, I'm assuming most people on here probably have Uber. You have to have Uber in order to compete on this. Go on your Uber profile and look up your Uber score, which if you go to the Uber app, see there, you'll see in the top those 3 lines. Hit that. You'll see your picture, and then next to it is a score. The person who sends in the highest Uber score, and as a caveat, I think most people probably have, but you have to have taken more than 5 trips on Uber. So you can't just have had one really good trip and gotten a 5. But the person tonight who has the highest Uber score, which therefore probably means they're the kindest person here, will get a $20 gift certificate to the LCBO, which, Lindsay, makes sense because there is also no LCBO in BC. So I apologize for people outside of Ontario. This prize doesn't really speak to them. But the highest Uber score, Uber Uber might be awful. The people who drive for Uber aren't awful. And I think when you're in an Uber car, your Uber score is reflective of how you treat those people. So send me either your Uber score or a picture of you holding your phone proving your Uber score. If you tell me you have a 5, I'm going to want to see photo evidence. But the person with the highest Uber score, Lyft is an option as well. Does Lyft do scores? I don't use Lyft nearly as much, but I will accept a Lyft score as well, I guess, if there are such scores. I should check my own account. Anyway, view profile. Oh yeah, rating. Oh, is it out of 5? I have a perfect 5 on Lyft. I never looked. Are you seeing my credit card information as I do that? Look at that. I'm taking 79 lifts, and I have a 5. You can send it to. I'll send it to mackaytaggart@gmail.com. Oh, good question, Abdullah. I will repeat the. All right. Here we go. I realized I did not repeat the questions. I'm getting ahead of myself again. I did not repeat the questions from round number 3. I'll repeat the questions again very quickly and then go on to round number 4. Question number 1 from this round was, on TV's Seinfeld, what were the names of George's parents? If you name one of them, you get, okay, so not Lyft, only Uber. Thanks, Merrick. If you name one of them, you get a single point. If you name 2, you get a bonus. Number 2, what do the letters in the word scuba stand for? Believe it or not, it's an acronym. You have to know what that acronym is. Question number 3, what Canadian figure skater was first in the world to land a quadruple jump in a world competition? Question number 4, what is the largest lake entirely in Canada? Question number 5, of the planets in the solar system, which is closest in size to Earth? Question number 6, what movie released in 1998 used the tagline, quote, Earth, it was fun while it lasted? Question number 7, in what US state would you find Area 51? Question number 8, Montreal-born Tiff Macklin got a new job this week. What is it? Question number 9, what world event inspired Herbert Morrison's famous quote, "Oh, the humanity"? And finally, question number 10, what was the name of the family dog on the TV show The Jetsons? All right. Now, time to move on to round number 4, which is the picture round. I'm going to send you right now a link to a Google Doc. That Google Doc that is going to be going to contain some photos, some pictures. You have to try and answer the question of the week as best you can. How do I do this? Share. Get shareable link. Here we go. I'm posting it now. Let's say this is a little bit of a tougher one, so I'll give you 8 minutes to do this. 8 minutes. In this Google Doc, you will see the covers of 10 famous books, but the title of the book and the author of the book have been removed simply based on the cover art. And I'm not sure if my friend Emma Dolan is on this chat, but Emma Dolan designs book covers for a living and does a phenomenal job. So I realize she's going to do incredibly well. But for those lay people, see if you can figure out the book covers, the names of the books that the book covers belong to. You'll have 8 minutes starting now. Wilson, you can send it to the address I posted above, which is mackaytaggart@gmail.com. Oh man, there's some serious Uber scores here. God, you guys. Wow, my God. Wow. Authors, no. Eric, no, because I feel like it's unfair. If you know the book, you probably know the author. So it really stacks the. So I'm just looking for the book title. That's it. Book title. How much time do we have left? 5 minutes and 19 seconds or 16 seconds to name the books that you see in that Google Doc. Praying, are there any other public service announcements we want to make tonight? Thanks again to our sponsors, Steam Whistle, and to our friends at Reunion Coffee, and to my dad for the LCBO gift certificates. Also, a huge shout out to everybody who's taking time out tonight to join us, who also works in the healthcare field. I know that we've got some friends watching from Trillium Health in Mississauga, premier health institution in the province, who've been working night and day to make sure that the Peel region and people in the west end of the GTA are well served and protected and cared for during this time. So thanks to everybody at Trillium and all across the GTA and the country who are working on the front lines. I know we've had some birthday announcements this week. Phil Burbage's birthday and Elliot's birthday tonight. If you want your birthday celebrated or someone in your life, send me a note. We'll make sure that we get a birthday shout out. Three minutes and 30 seconds left in the round. Geez, there are some serious Uber sweethearts. I wonder, like, are you agreeing to drive their car when you get in? These scores are unbelievable. How much time? 3 minutes. 3 minutes left. I'm going to be right back in 1 second. I'm going to mute for How much time do we have left now? One minute, 10 seconds left to continue or to finish answering that question about book covers. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is time. Time to put down your pens and pencils, and we will take up the answers from rounds 3 and rounds 4, beginning with the things I think you should know, the random knowledge trivia questions that make up this round. Question number 1 that I asked was, on TV's Seinfeld, you had to know the names of George's parents. If you knew one, you got a point. If you knew them both, you got 2 points. Their names: Frank is his dad, Estelle is his mom. So if you got both those, you get 2 points. Question number 2. What do the letters in SCUBA stand for? They stand for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Self-contained breathing apparatus is question number 2. Question number 3. The Canadian figure skater who was first in the world to land a quadruple jump in a world competition, Kurt Browning. Kurt Browning. Number 4, the largest lake entirely in Canada. And I meant to look exactly up what I had measured this by. I'm going with Great Bear Lake is the answer. Let me just double check by what. According to Wikipedia, which is always correct, Great Bear Lake is a lake in the Canadian Boreal Forest. It is the largest lake entirely in Canada. And that is by, well, I should actually, I was going to give this trivia, but maybe I will save it one day. Never mind. Surface area. So it's surface area. So maybe I fucked that up. Anyway, the surface area was the determining factor. But if someone has another guess by volume, if whoever asked that question about Great Bear Lake, if you really want to drill down on it, I'll entertain your idea or your other suggestion. Question number 5. Of the planets in the solar system, which is of all the planets in the solar system, which is closest in size to Earth, that is Venus. Venus is the answer. The movie released in 1998 that used the tagline "Earth, it was fun while it lasted." Feels like we're living through an Armageddon. It's Armageddon. Armageddon. The U.S. state in which you'll find Area 51 is Nevada. Nevada. Question number 8. Montreal-born Tiff Macklin got a new job this week. What is it? He is becoming, as of June, the new governor of the Bank of Canada. I'm sure he'll have no big stresses to worry about in his tenure. Holy shit. Talk about taking on a bit of a shit show. Wow. So Governor of Bank of Canada is question number 8. Number 9, what event inspired Herbert Morrison's famous quote, "Oh, the humanity"? That would be the Hindenburg disaster. And finally, what was the name of the dog on TV's The Jetsons? The answer is Astro. So there's obviously some debate about largest lakes. So Great Slave Lake has an area less than Great Bear Lake, and it is on the list of Canadian lakes larger than 1,000 square kilometers. Let me look up and see the volume if it has. Water volume is 1,580 kilometers squared. Let me see what Great Bear Lake. Great Bear Lake is larger in volume too. So I'm not going to accept Great Bear Lake. I'm just going to accept. Sorry. Oh, now I'm confusing myself. Yeah, Great Bear Lake is larger than Great Slave Lake. That's the answer I'm going with. Shore length. Shore length and surface area, wouldn't they be, if you have the largest surface area, then you have the largest shore length. It's my night. I'm deciding that only Great Bear Lake is acceptable. Kendra, you asked what? 6 and 7. Oh, Christine asked for 6 and 7. Number 6 is Armageddon. Number 7 is Nevada. Armageddon and Nevada. Is it current information? Amazing. Grin and Great Barrett. Matt Smith with the comment of the night. All right. Moving on. I answered all those. Astro's the name of the dog on the Jetsons. Here we go. Moving on to the book covers. Book covers. Here we go. Book number 1. I believe, sadly, and this is my own fault, the only Canadian book on the list, by Jan Martel. Book number 1, that's the cover to Life of Pi. Life of Pi. Book number 2, J.D. Salinger's classic Catcher in the Rye, is book cover number 2. Book number 3 is Twilight by Stephanie Martel. Is that her last name? I can't remember her last name, but Twilight is book number 3. Book number 4 is the original cover of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Question number 5, book cover number 5, not really, probably maybe one of the more obscure ones on the list, or at least from a cover perspective. That's Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Brave New World. Book number 6 is Catch-22. Book number 7 is The Hobbit. Book number 7 is The Hobbit. Book number 8 is Atlas Shrugged. Atlas Shrugged. Book number 9 is American Psycho. And finally, book number 10 is To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird. Just reading the comments here. I'll go through those again if you missed them, because I think I went through them pretty quick. Book number 1, Life of Pi. Book number 2, Catcher in the Rye. Book number 3, Twilight. Book number 4, Great Gatsby. Book number 5, Brave New World. Book number 6, Catch-22. Book number 7 is The Hobbit. Book number 8 is Atlas Shrugged. Book number 9 is American Psycho. And book number 10 is To Kill a Mockingbird. All right. Oh, yeah, not Stoico, Tori. It was Browning, Kurt Browning. All right. Those are the answers for rounds 3 and rounds 4. Time to add your new answers to your existing Google form. Update those, and we will come back in a couple seconds with an update on averages, and then our final 2 rounds of the night, and more of this delicious steam whistle beer. No authors necessary, correct. You do not need authors. You only needed book covers. I want to give a shout out, and I'm trying to think of a way to make this into a round. And I've got some ideas, so hopefully it'll come to fruition in a couple weeks. But I think what's one of the coolest things about that I've seen teams do in this virtual edition of Drinking and Thinking that didn't happen as much when we were at Clinton's is the amount of families that have come together, parents and kids, even grandparents, or nieces and nephews, cousins, who have come together to play quizzing and quarantine together. I think that's really cool. I just saw an email from someone who sent in a picture of their parents' Uber rating, which of course is very high because parents just inherently are usually nice people. But I think it's really great that this is an opportunity. So I've always said to people when they've asked me what's the trick to winning or doing well in pub trivia, it's to have an eclectic team. It's to have people who span different ages, different genres, different skill sets. And inherently, if you're going to have someone who's 25, 30, 35 years older than you, they're going to have a whole different knowledge base than you are. And I've gotten some feedback. I'm trying to make sure that my questions are reflective of people who span different generations. But I want to, I think it's great that people are inviting their parents or their other family members, siblings to play, and that's what this is all about. All right, I'm going to check the scores and see how people are doing. Average score for round 3. Let's see here. Round 3 was the things I think you should know. Average score was 7. Well done. Certainly not a bad score for a round of things I think you should know. And the average score for round 4, which was the book cover round, was 7 as well. Wow. Very impressive. All right. Which that means it is time now to move on to round number 5, 5th round of the night. Steve, I can repost the Google Doc, but that round is done. In case if you just want it for your own interest. That's the Google Doc again. You don't need that unless you're just curious. That's just for Steve or anyone else who wants it. All right, moving on to round number 5. I'm going to rotate. Round number 5 always seems to be a bit of a question mark round, switching up different formats every week. We did music last week. Not everybody loved that. So we'll try something different. This is a rapid fire round. And I'm going to move through these questions pretty quickly because for each of these questions, there are only 26 possible answers. And here's why. These are all one-letter answers. So I'm going to read through them quite quickly. You have to write down the letter that you think is the right answer for the question I've asked. I still will read the questions twice and once at the end of the round, but I'm going to fly through it really quite quickly. Here we go. Ready? Rapid fire. Keep in mind, every single correct answer in this round is just a single letter. Got it? Here we go. What 2008 film featured Richard Dreyfuss as Dick Cheney and Thandie Newton as Condoleezza Rice? Question 2. What is the Roman numeral for 500? What is the Roman numeral for 500? Question number 3. Los Angeles and Wild Gift are 2 acclaimed albums by what American punk band? Los Angeles and Wild Gift are 2 acclaimed albums by what American punk band? Question number 4. The Scarlet Letter. In the Scarlet Letter, what letter must Hester wear on her dress? In the Scarlet Letter, what letter must Hester wear on her dress? Question number 5. From 1963 until 1999, Desmond Llewellyn played what character in the James Bond films? Question number 5. From 1963 to 1999, Desmond Llewellyn played what character in the James Bond films? Question number 6. What 2001 drama starred Julia Stiles and Mekhi Phifer in a modern retelling of a classic Shakespeare play? Question number 6 again. What 2001 drama starred Julia Stiles and Mekhi Phifer in a modern retelling of a classic Shakespeare play? Question number 7. What was the first perfume to be endorsed by Mariah Carey? Number 7. What was the first perfume to be endorsed by Mariah Carey? Question number 8. Will Smith plays what agent in the Men in Black films? Number 8. Will Smith plays what agent in the Men in Black films? Question number 9. What letter represents potassium on the periodic table of elements? What letter represents potassium on the periodic table of elements? And lastly, number 10. What ABC show, which ran for 2 seasons from 2009 until 2011, chronicled the arrival on Earth of a technologically advanced alien species? Number 10 again. What ABC show, which ran for 2 seasons from 2009 until 2011, chronicled the arrival on Earth of a technologically advanced alien species? Those questions, again, very quickly in this rapid fire round. Keep in mind, every answer is just a letter of the alphabet. Here we go again. Number 1, what 2008 film featured Richard Dreyfuss as Dick Cheney and Thandie Newton as Condoleezza Rice? Number 2, what is the Roman numeral for 500? Number 3, Los Angeles and Wild Gift are 2 acclaimed albums by what American punk band? Number 4, in The Scarlet Letter, what letter must Hester wear on her dress? Number 5, from 1963 until 1999, Desmond Llewellyn played what character in the James Bond films? Number 6, what 2001 drama starred Julia Stiles and Mekhi Phifer in a modern retelling of a Shakespeare play? Number 7, what was the first perfume to be endorsed by Mariah Carey? Number 8, Will Smith plays what agent in the Men in Black films? Number 9, what letter represents potassium on the periodic table of elements? And number 10, what ABC show, which ran for 2 seasons from 2009 till 2011, chronicled the arrival on Earth of a technologically advanced alien species? That brings us to the end of the rapid fire round. Let me know if you like the rapid fire round, because maybe we'll do more of that in the coming weeks. We are moving on now to the final round of the night. It is the final Jeopardy round. Keep in mind, these questions are taken from a Jeopardy episode, obviously, which I did not write. Therefore, I cannot be wrong. Fun concept. Good. We've got 1 thumbs up for the rapid fire round. Keep in mind, these unlike our Great Bear Lake question, you can't chirp me for this. These questions are all taken from a single episode of Jeopardy. That episode aired on February 28th, 2008. 2008. So this is what, over 12 years ago now. This would have been just as the 2008 election was heating up. Most of us probably hadn't even heard the name Barack Obama at this point. What a sweet name that sounds like now. All right. Here is question number 1. The category, tall structures. The clue, this 1,046-foot tall New York City building was one of the first to use stainless steel over much of the building's surface. Question number 1, the category is tall structures, and the clue, this 1,046-foot tall New York City building was one of the first to use stainless steel over much of the building's surface. Question number 2, what doesn't belong? Alex would give a theme. He then lists 3 things, and which of those 3 things is not like the other. I guess as the song goes. Here we go. What doesn't belong? Balkan countries, Albania, Latvia, Croatia. Category is what doesn't belong, and the clue, Balkan countries, Albania, Latvia, Croatia. Question number 3. The category is low with the letters L-O-W in quotation marks, meaning they must appear in the answer. The clue, proverbially, you don't want to be this foundation guy at the bottom of an elaborately carved Indian post. The category is low with L-O-W in quotations, and the clue, proverbially, oh my God, I can't pronounce that word today. Figuratively speaking, you don't want to be this foundation guy at the bottom of an elaborately carved Indian post. Proverbially, oh man. Question number 4, the category is sweet. The clue, the treat called This Delight is made of fruit juice and gelatin, cubed and dusted with sugar. Category again is sweet. The clue, the treat called This Delight is made of fruit juice and gelatin, cubed and dusted with sugar. We're getting some love for the music round, which I've thought about bringing back. I brought it back. Some people hate it. A couple people like it. A lot of people don't do well. It'll, I'm sure, make another appearance at some point, but it's not a fan favorite for digital drinking and thinking. Proverbially. No. Proverbably. That sounds about right. All right. Moving on. Question number 5. On Jeopardy, it's worth 1,000 points. Tonight, it's just worth a single one, or $1,000 on Jeopardy. Tonight, worth a single point. The clue, in 1966, this sci-fi show premiered with the episode The Man Trap. Category again is TV. The clue, in 1966, this sci-fi show premiered with the episode The Man Trap. Question number 6, the category, Samuel L. Jackson. The clue, in the late 80s, Sam was the rehearsal stand-in for this comedy legend on his self-titled sitcom. Category again is Samuel L. Jackson, and the clue, in the late 1980s, Sam was the rehearsal stand-in for this comedy legend on his self-titled sitcom. I might remind you, these questions were written in 2008. Question number 7, the category, literary crossword clues S. The clue, Mademoiselle de Beauvoir. Category again is literary crossword clues S, and the clue, Mademoiselle de Beauvoir. Question number 8. The category is medicine men and women. The clue, this German bacteriologist developed a test for syphilis and an inoculation for tetanus. Category again is medicine men and women. The clue, this German bacteriologist developed a test for syphilis and an inoculation for tetanus. Question number 9, the category, word origins, and the clue is, this word for a blob or lump, perhaps of whipped cream, may come from Dalpur, Icelandic for fat man. Category again is word origins, and the clue, this word for a blob or lump, perhaps of whipped cream, may come from Dalpur, spelled D-O-L-P-U-R, Icelandic for fat man. Question number 10. The category is Japanese culture. And the clue, a geisha's skills include playing this 3-stringed Japanese instrument. Category again is Japanese culture. And the clue, a geisha's skills include playing this 3-stringed Japanese instrument. And the final Jeopardy category on this night in February of 2008 was the NFL. NFL is the category. The clue, it's the only NFL team to play its home games out of state in a stadium named for another team. Category again is the NFL, and the clue, it's the only NFL team to play its home games out of state in a stadium named for another team. Let me see one thing. Keep in mind, again, these questions are sometimes in some ways outdated because obviously things may have changed between 2008 and now. Let me see. Yeah. It doesn't stand up as much. Anyway, all right, I will go back and read those questions again if you need them repeated, starting with question number 1. The category was tall structures. The clue, this 1,046-foot tall New York City building was one of the first to use stainless steel over much of the building's surfaces. Question number 2, the category, what doesn't belong? And the clue, Balkan countries, Albania, Latvia, Croatia. Question number 3, the category is low, and the clue, theoretically speaking, you don't want to be this foundation guy at the bottom of an elaborately carved Indian post. Proverbially, there we go. Casey437, if you ever need a job, some of you guys know I work in television news, and oftentimes there are difficult to pronounce words on the teleprompter, and there are people who have the gift of being able to phonetically break down a word really well. And Casey, you seem to be able to do that. And I can, proverbially, thank you. Though I replaced it with another phrase just now, theoretically speaking, I think. Question number 4, the category is sweet. The clue, the treat called This Delight is made of fruit juice and gelatin cubed and dusted with sugar. Question number 5, the category TV. The clue, in 1966, this sci-fi show premiered with the episode The Man Trap. Question number 6, the category is Samuel L. Jackson, and the clue, in the late 1980s, Sam was the rehearsal stand-in for this comedy legend on his self-titled sitcom. Question number 7, the category is literary crossword clues S in quotations, meaning the answer must begin with S. The clue, Mademoiselle de Beauvoir. Question number 8. The category, medicine men and women. The clue, this German bacteriologist developed a test for syphilis and inoculation for tetanus. Question number 9, the category is word origins. The clue, this word for a blob or lump, perhaps of whipped cream, may come from Dalper, Icelandic for fat man. Question number 10, the category is Japanese culture. The clue, a geisha's skills include playing this 3-stringed Japanese instrument. And finally, the final Jeopardy category on this night in February 2008 was the NFL, and the clue, it's the only NFL team to play its home games out of state in a stadium named for another team. I'll give you a couple seconds to review your answers and make sure you have the the correct answers, or what you think are the correct answers, written down, and then we'll take up the answers from rounds 5 and round 6. All right, here we go. We'll start with the answers from round number 5, which was the lightning round, the rapid fire round with the letters. The answers to that round are question number 1. The 2008 film that starred Richard Dreyfuss and Thandie Newton was W, the story of George W. Bush. Number 2, what is the Roman numeral for 500? Is D, the letter D. Los Angeles and Wild Gift are 2 acclaimed albums by the band X, simply X. Number 4, in The Scarlet Letter, what letter must Hester wear on her dress? It is an A. The role played by Desmond Llewellyn in the James Bond films for a long time was Q. In 2001, the drama starring Julia Stiles and Mekhi Phifer about a Shakespeare play was Othello, was the play it was based on. The film was just called O, the letter O. The first perfume to be endorsed by Mariah Carey was M. Will Smith played Agent J in the Men in Black films. J is the answer. Number 9, the letter that represents potassium on the periodic table of elements is K, letter K. And finally, the ABC show that ran from 2009 until 2011 was V. V is what that name of the show was. Moving on to the Jeopardy questions, the final round tonight. The answers are: question number 1, tall structures. The building covered in stainless steel was the Chrysler Building. The Chrysler Building. Number 2, what doesn't belong? The country of the 3 listed that is not a Balkan country is Latvia. Latvia. If you don't want to be the foundational guy at the bottom of this carved totem pole, or carved pole, is a low man on the totem pole is the answer. Low man on the totem pole. Sorry, Aaron, what was 4? Oh, I can't remember now. I got to go back and check the answer for number 4 on my phone. Was A. Number 7 was M. Yeah, M. There we go. Got it. Okay, back to the Jeopardy answers. Number 4, the treat called This Delight, made of fruit juice and gelatin, is Turkish Delight. Turkish Delight. The answer, Morgan, for number 2 is Latvia. Am I freezing again? I apologize if that's the case. Question number 5. The 1966 sci-fi show that premiered with The Man Trap is Star Trek. Star Trek. Number 6, Samuel L. Jackson was the category. I'm going to guess they wouldn't include this question nowadays, but it was kosher back in 2008. The Bill Cosby was the comedy legend that Samuel L. Jackson was the stand-in for. Number 7, the first name of the French writer was Simone. Number 8, medicine men and women. This German bacteriologist developed a test for syphilis. Last name Wasserman. Number 9, word origins. The word for blob or lumps, perhaps of whipped cream, is dollop. Apparently it originates from a Icelandic word. Number 10, Japanese culture. Geisha's skills include playing this 3-string Japanese instrument. That instrument is a samisen, S-A-M-I-S-E-N. And finally, the only NFL team to play its home games out of state in a stadium named for another team. Up until 2009, this team played their games in New Jersey in a stadium called Giant Stadium. Now they play in, I think, MetLife. But the New York Jets is the answer. New York Jets is the final Jeopardy answer tonight. And with that, I invite you to add up your scores and submit them into the Google Doc, and we will decide who is going home with the Steam Whistle beer, with the Reunion coffee, and with the LCBO gift certificate. In fact, there are 2 LCBO gift certificates up for grabs. The penultimate team tonight is getting an LCBO gift certificate, and the person who has the highest Uber score, which might be a tiebreaker, I have a feeling. Sure, I can post the Google scoring doc. Let me see here. But if you haven't entered your scores yet, I mean, I guess you could enter all your scores, but hopefully if you are not starting a fresh entry if you've already started one. All right. All right, I see some scores coming in already. I'll give you just a couple more minutes to enter your final scores. Keep in mind that in order to win the penultimate prize, you need to have entered scores for all the rounds. You can't just bow out after the first 2 rounds and expect to then win a $20 LCBO gift certificate. Even though we've had problems, that's okay, Wilson. Listen, you're not the only one who has had technical difficulties tonight. I think I'm on my 3rd stream tonight, which usually happens when I drink a lot. Hey-o! All right. I'm going to go and, oh, there we go. All the scores are coming in. Let me see here. I'll add up the scores right now. I'm just going to go through and make sure that people make sure the scores are entered properly. Ooh, we got some tight scoring here. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting evening. I'll give everyone just a couple more minutes as I just go through and figure out our very impressive Uber rating round. Wow, man, how do you people? I mean, I don't want to call into question what you're doing in this car with people. As I mentioned, just because it appears that Lyft as I am evidence of, gives a very high thinks very highly of it. I'm limiting this to Uber just because Lyft we are seeing far too many fives in Lyft, and I know that I don't deserve a 5, and yet I have one. So I'm gonna write down. I think we might have a tie here on the Uber front. Let me see here. It's nice to know there's so much kindness amongst the group playing. And I'm going to trust that the people who are sending in, because Uber, you can't see how many trips you've taken. So as I said, you have to have had more than 5 trips on Uber in order to qualify. Obviously, Drew Garner has a high Uber score. I think he is probably the kindest man I know in my life, and he has a very high Uber score, and I would expect nothing less. But not the highest. There are other people who, wow, this is incredibly impressive. All right. So in order to settle the Uber score, before we get to the big prizes of the night, the ultimate what teams are on top type thing. Just going through making sure I haven't missed anything else. Oh, there's another one. I'm going to ask, and I apologize if I slaughter anyone's name because I've written people's names down quite messily on here. Oh man. Holy. You guys, like, are you massaging your Uber driver when you go into the car? All right, here we go. If you are named in the following list, you're going to have about 2 minutes to. I'm sorry, Lindsay. I've closed the Uber. There are too many people competing, so I've closed the Uber window to enter your score. But if you are in this list of people who I'm going to read out, you're going to have about 2 minutes to go and enter the field in the form that is for a tiebreaker, because this is a tiebreaker question. And I alluded to it earlier. I just want to make sure I missed one person's last name. Let's see here. Oh, no, I can't find it. Okay. The following people, believe it or not, I'm assuming they've taken more than 5 Ubers, have a perfect score on Uber. There are more than a handful of you. Aaron Beatty, Grace Bannon, Chris Steer, Logan McPhee, Kat Watson, Sarah Bradshaw, and Mark Arslan. Apologies for and a guy named Edward, whose last name I didn't write down. So if you are any of those people, go into the tiebreaker field in the Google Doc, and you have to answer this question. We alluded to it a little bit earlier. How many lakes are there in Canada? How many lakes are there in Canada? The person with the answer closest to that is correct will get the $20 LCBO gift certificate. And thank you for being so kind to your Uber driver. That's obviously you're a very good person. Again, Aaron Beatty, Grace Bannon, Chris Steer, Logan McPhee, Kat Watson, Sarah Bradshaw, and Mark Arslan, and a guy named Edward. You have about 2 minutes to enter your guess as to how many lakes there are in Canada. I'll check that field in a second, and we'll figure out who gets that LCBO gift card. All right, on to the other prizes tonight. As I mentioned, the team that comes in second last, or the penultimate prize as we call it, even though it might not be the correct word, is getting a $20 gift certificate to LCBO, care of my dad, who's very kindly sponsoring a couple rounds over the next couple weeks with some LCBO gift cards. And I gotta recalibrate this really quickly. And again, you had to enter scores for all rounds. The team tonight going home with the penultimate prize. Congratulations, the Three Musket Beers. Congratulations, Three Musket Beers. You guys have won the LCBO gift card. Send me an email with your mailing address and I'll pop it in the mail. Congratulations, well done. And I know I've gotten a little behind on mailing out some of the gift certificates. So if you haven't received yours yet, you can, from past weeks, send me a reminder and I'll make sure I get it in the mail. But congratulations to Three Musket Beers with a very impressive score of 28 tonight with the penultimate prize. Congratulations. Flipping to the other side of the leaderboard tonight, of all the 80 plus teams playing, not a small group. And we had some serious competitors. Coming in fifth place tonight, tied for fifth. We have two teams tonight tied for fifth place. We have, the next name is so vile and offensive that I don't even know that I should read it aloud, but here goes. Congratulations, you are one of the two fifth place teams, as is the Blazinga Boys. Congratulations, tied for fifth. Well done. In fourth place tonight, we have four teams tied for fourth place. Congratulations to Covideo Star, Frickin' French Fry Fricassee in fourth. Bunch of Yahoos, in brackets, the team formerly known as the Bytown Badgers, in fourth place tonight. Also in fourth place tonight, You Can't Tell That I'm Not Wearing Smarty Pants. Also, third time's the charm, sorry. I think they entered their team a couple times, but it worked because they are tied for third place. Sorry, tied for fourth place. In third place tonight, it was a very close race for the top. We had just 1 point separating third, fourth, and fifth. Or sorry, third, second, and first. In third place tonight, the team last place. Team named last place in third tonight. In second, going home with a 2 pounds of amazing coffee from our friends at Reunion Coffee. Thank you so much to Adam and Elida for their support. The bunch of Yahoos outside Queen's Park, congratulations. You guys are in second place tonight. And in first place tonight, if I'm not mistaken, a team that has not been on the top of the podium before, but good to see them there. In first place with a very impressive score of 59 out of a possible, I think, 63. Very well done. This qualifies as not drinking alone in first place tonight. Congratulations. So for those teams who have placed tonight, congratulations. Send me your address. I'll make sure to get the prizes off to you. And before we go, the team, let's see, make sure people enter the tiebreaker question. Make sure I actually know the tiebreaker answer, because I looked it up before. And let me see here. Lakes in Canada, obviously Wikipedia. The correct number of lakes in Canada is 31,752, meaning we added some close guesses. I think that's a very good guess. Yeah, they were just 1,752 lakes off. Going home with the a guy named Edward came very close too, but getting the penultimate, or getting the scavenger hunt prize tonight, showing, not pointing. I'm not sure who on this list that is, but congratulations. Send me a note and I will make sure you get your LCBO gift certificate. So that brings us to, is it even 10 o'clock yet? Barely, 10:06. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. We'll be back again next week. I will try to work on the stream so we have a better quality. If you're in the neighborhood of Corktown and feel like a mimosa tomorrow and spending $5 to support the Daily Bread Food Bank. Oh, the point totals. Yeah, Bruce, good question. You're right. How many points? So the average score, thank you, everybody. The average score tonight, and I'll try. Last week I ended up posting the final placing and scores, and people seem to like that. The average score after 6 rounds of play was 33. So if you scored above 33, congratulations, well done. I'll see the problem is if I share this, I have to modify this document before I share it because it has everyone's email address on it, and people probably don't want their email address floating around on some random shareable Google Doc. But I'll see if I can, because I know people are interested to know how they did compete compared to their friends. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us again. Just making sure I haven't missed any comments. Thanks, Michael, for coming out again and for all the work you do at Global News, keeping us our graphics on the air. Steven says keep up with the YouTube thing. Yeah, it seemed to work out okay. I'll work on maybe trying to get an adapter for a Ethernet cable for my AirBook and try to go that route. Ethernet cable. Okay, thanks, Nick. Good advice. I will try to get that in time for next week. All right, there we go. That's it. Thanks again, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay distant, and stay nerdy. And we will see you again next week for more quizzing and quarantine. Bye-bye.